The mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. You've got much better things to do than fuck me. Every single cop in this nation is a liar.
Some cops think they can get away with anything, but every now and then they mess with the wrong person and live to regret it. Today we'll be looking at cases where arrogant officers learned a hard lesson the moment they picked the wrong fight. On June 5th, 2015, Mike was working on a domestic case as a private investigator and was surveying a woman. However, the subject noticed and quickly turned the situation against him, calling JSO and falsely claiming that she was being stalked.
Now we get to meet one another. How are you doing? What's going on with you following me? Are you an investigator of some sort?
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate away. But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
You mind getting that light out of my eyes?
Sir, it's nighttime. I don't know you from Adam's house cat. I don't know if you have weapons in here.
You see both my hands right here.
Well, I don't know if you have weapons in here, man. So I'm going to keep my flashlight right here where it is. I don't have it in your face. That would be in your face. I have it down. I'm trying to show you that respect. I'm illuminating the vehicle for my safety.
Mike wasn't just a private investigator, he was a certified interrogator with law enforcement experience. Yet officers believe that they could outsmart him.
Now, would you agree that I've answered every question you've asked me? And all I asked you was one simple question.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. Do you have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir. I've already explained that to you. Now, you can play the back and forth rigmarole all you want to. I've explained to you why I pulled you over.
Okay, and you didn't have PC. I'm not suspected of committing a crime.
The probable cause is that you've been following this young lady, and she.
Do you know that, sir? Did you see that? Did you see that, deputy?
Came back by. Why'd you come back by?
I don't have to answer questions.
Okay, you don't have to answer questions. Okay, you do have to identify yourself.
Sir, if you suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, I have to identify myself. You have no probable cause to pull me for a traffic violation. I asked you why you pulled me.
Because the young lady said that you've been following her since yesterday.
So you believe everything everyone says to you?
Mike had done nothing wrong, but the cops' weak approach only led to an unnecessary confrontation.
Will you conduct right away, sir? At this point in time, I elect to not say anything. I elect to speak to say anything without having my attorney present. That would be Eric Friday.
Call him. Tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
Just so you're aware, you're being videotaped.
I do not care. Do you get my good side? My right side is usually my best side.
Yeah, there's no good side on the cop's face.
Well, you're one of those people.
Yeah, one of those people. Yeah, and you're one of those people, right? Gun and badge grant extra rights, right?
No, it doesn't grant me an extra right.
Yeah.
How about you
do your job and honor your oath?
Telling me that somebody's been following her since yesterday? Yeah, I'm investigating.
Yeah, and you just take everything everyone comes up to you. Okay, I just said someone pull a gun on me. You gonna go investigate that?
I sure would. Who pulled a gun on you?
Yeah.
Someone pull a gun on you?
I don't answer questions, deputy.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by them.
The deputy refused to identify himself and quickly left. But what happened next was even more telling. Multiple officers arriving at the scene.
Your name and badge number, deputy? Your name and badge number, deputy? The guy that pulled me over is leaving. Am I free to go, deputy? Am I free to go?
No, sir, not yet.
What am I being detained for, sir?
Hey, when I get around to get my car where it needs to be, I'll explain to you.
No, we want to, someone's saying that you're claiming you're stalking them. What is that, are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm not giving you gentlemen a hard time.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I'm going to roll this window up, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to know.
Someone's allegedly.
Let me speak for a moment, sir. No disrespect.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like for you to articulate what crime you suspect me of committing or what crime you suspect me of about to commit.
Now, Mike knew his rights and refused to back down no matter how much pressure the cops put on him.
No, we just have a reasonable suspicion to figure out what's going on here.
No, sir. So you don't get to detain me to figure out if I've committed a crime, sir. The law and the statute states, in order for you to detain me, you must have reasonable, articulable suspicion that either I have committed.
Yeah, we have probable cause.
What is your probable cause?
We got a complaint that we got that's a red.
That's not probable cause, sir. What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Stalking.
And you suspect me of committing stalking?
That's why I want to know. Were you anywhere near this? Near this?
I don't answer questions.
Do you know who she is?
I do not answer
She
questions.
said she has no idea who you
If you're going to articulate that you suspect me of committing a crime and have reasonable suspicion of that,
If you don't agree with it, if you don't agree with our probable cause,
your name and badge number, sir?
Sir, what's your name?
Your name and badge number, sir?
well, you gotta remember.
But all you're being recorded. I've got 4 cameras in this truck.
We got it.
You're required by policy to issue your name and badge number. I'm going to ask you what. I'm speaking to this gentleman right now. I'll get your name and badge number in a minute. Your name and badge number.
The officers had no legal right or any reasonable suspicion to keep him, yet they refused to acknowledge it. It is concerning how ignorant and power-hungry cops are.
What's your name?
I just told you.
I didn't hear it because I'm sitting here
Well,
speaking
you're
to this
recording
gentleman.
it so you can pick it up later.
So I'm going to ask you once again. If you want to be a smart about it, I'll file an internal affairs case on you.
I gave it to you once already.
I didn't
sir.
hear it. I'm asking you once again. So to extend some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve.
I did.
What is your name and badge number?
Well, here's
Hey,
the thing,
Livatino,
sir. I
badge
gave you
number
mine.
70051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard?
No.
Your name and badge
That's
number,
the
sir.
second time.
When I give you my name and badge number,
Can I have your name?
Name and badge number, sir.
Lou, hang on.
I'd like to have your name, sir.
See, the thing is, sir, the law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
I don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
Okay.
My attorney, Mr. Eric Friday, would love to bring up a civil lawsuit against you in the city for this illegal detainment.
Sir.
When officers violate your rights and refuse to admit it, it only highlights how deep corruption and abuse of power runs in the system.
We're not trying to upset you.
I'm not
We
upset.
had a radio call. Let me give you what
Go right
happened.
ahead, sir.
We got a radio call that a vehicle matching this description of your vehicle was harassing someone in a short sense. Okay. Don't know what's transpired. We don't know anything about it. Your car meets what we were told, and that's why we're questioning you.
Okay.
And that's very simple. All we need to do is just ask you your name and the car and where have you been.
May I ask how my name is going to establish whether I've harassed someone or not?
You ask for our name. It would be nice to have your name as well.
It would be, but see, I don't.
And you don't have to give it.
I appreciate
now,
you saying that, sir.
All right, you don't have to give it now, but we just like to know, so we can, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Would that be
My
okay?
name's Mike, sir. You can address me as Mike.
Okay, that's fine, Mike. That's a great beginning.
All right.
And the reason why is because, like I said, your car matches the description we were given.
I respect
Doesn't
that.
mean
I respect
you're guilty.
that. I respect that. You're
It doesn't
talking to
mean
an
you're
ex-law
guilty.
enforcement officer here, buddy.
These officers thought asserting rights meant refusing to comply, until Mike proved them wrong. Just watch as he teaches them a lesson they won't forget.
We're not saying you're guilty of anything. We didn't say that.
Then
We're
you
not
are illegally
intimating it.
detaining me. I asked the
sir.
last deputy that left, what was his reason for stopping me? He didn't stop me for trafficking.
Did I just tell you
First of all,
now-
let me calm down. I
Did
shouldn't
I-
be yelling at you.
Thank you.
I shouldn't be doing
And
that.
I'm not yelling at you.
This
right?
deputy that stopped me, sir, did not articulate he was stopping me for a traffic violation. Then
No.
I asked him what his probable cause was, or what crime he suspected me of committing, or
No.
what reasonable crime, or reasonable
It's not the
suspicion.
case. The case is, as I stated, is that we had a description of a vehicle. Your vehicle matched that, and we're just here to
Okay.
determine, no, you're not the one, or yes, you are the one. Very
But see, the
simple.
law protects me. I don't have to
What-
answer
that's-
questions.
No, what, yes, sir.
Are you-
but
you
we're
said-
asking for your cooperation.
Mhm.
And can we get that cooperation?
I'm cooperating. The fact that I extend my rights doesn't mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
This is a clear example of why citizens should stand up for their constitutional rights, especially when the government outweighs our freedom.
Would you agree with
But
that, sir?
I don't understand it. If you said you're an ex-law enforcement officer, and you understand that when somebody calls us and says, hey, this vehicle was following me, okay? And we stop you,
Okay.
and we ask you questions regarding you, either you did or you didn't.
Correct.
What do you think a citizen, if they weren't doing anything wrong, would say, no, I'm not doing
But
that,
see,
or whatever?
sir, as a law enforcement officer, I realize how LEOs twist people's words.
No, we're not.
Let me finish speaking, okay?
Yes, please do.
They twist people's words. Any attorney, and all you three gentlemen will know, you don't
Lawyers
ever
do the same
speak
Stay
to
on
the
table,
cops.
dude. I want to hear what he got to say.
You don't ever talk to cops. Never. You never talk to cops unless you're legally obligated to. Nothing good can come from that. I'm very well of my rights, very well aware of my rights. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. Okay?
Mike stands his ground with absolute authority, showing these officers what it means to know and exercise his right.
Now, the fact that someone called you and said they're harassing doesn't give you the general order just to stop people.
No, that wasn't the reason why. Because a person in a vehicle that matched your description was doing that. We didn't say you were doing it.
Okay.
And that's what we're coming down to.
But how do you define harassing? Someone just called says they were
I
harassing.
didn't-
Did you ask her what they did? Did you ask the
They're
person?
following.
She said a red truck, pickup truck was following her since she came in town.
Is that a crime?
We haven't determined that. We just want to make sure.
Do you see where I'm going with this, sir? I mean, I understand you guys are doing your job, but do you see how this goes? I'm aware of my rights. You do not have, or excuse me, you have the right to ask me whatever
I can
question you
understand
want.
that. You're really enjoying this.
I'm not enjoying anything.
It appears to me
What,
that
you know what I am enjoying? How you officers fail to realize that those badges and those guns don't give you the right to violate other people's rights. Sir, you are. I've articulated to you that you are illegally detaining me.
Now, you have got to give it to Mike. He handled the situation perfectly. He stood firm, refused to be intimidated, and kept his cool while asserting his right.
And because you choose to abuse your authority and not recognize that what I'm saying is a fact, you are illegally violating my rights.
to question you to find out if you are the one or not the one that was violating this other woman's rights.
But I've made it clear, sir, I'm not going to
We
answer
don't know that.
questions.
Well,
I've
then
made it
how
clear
are
I'm
we
not.
going to determine this?
You don't
You're
get
not
to.
cooperating.
Yes, sir. The fact that I'm exercising my rights does not mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
Yes, it does.
It does not. It absolutely does not. Now, if I was doing something against the law or resisting you in some manner,
We can't determine that.
but you don't get to question me so I can give you information so you can make a case or not a case. I'm not saying I am this person, I'm not saying I am not this person, but what you fail to realize is I do not have to speak to you, sir. And that does not give you the right to detain me until you get some information to charge me with the crime. You don't get to search until I say something or you twist something I say to use it against me.
Shockingly, officers pledge to uphold the Constitution without ever understanding the rights that they swear to protect.
You gentlemen have a dangerous job. There is 19 unsolved murders in this city. Okay? You've got much better things to do to me. Okay? I'm not a threat to anyone.
We're not here.
What? Sir, there's 5 cops here. The gentleman that pulled me, and if he had any reasonable articulate suspicion, is no longer here. I'm assuming, I don't know where he is or where he's gone. You 3 gentlemen have no first-hand information. No first-hand information. This officer that pulled me over said he spoke with some individual that says apparently I was doing something that was classified as harassment.
That's not what we said. We didn't say you.
You didn't say that. I said that officer.
That your vehicle was told.
Now, were you here?
to be-
See this camera here?
Yes.
That officer stood here and said he spoke to a woman that said I was harassing her and following her for days. I didn't say you 3. The black gentleman, the gentleman that was here a few moments ago, that has now left the scene. So once again, gentlemen, hold on. Let me calm down.
Go ahead.
All 3 officers were left speechless, frantically trying to figure out how to get through, but none could match his knowledge and resolve.
Once again, gentlemen, if you have a reasonable articulate suspicion of me committing a crime or about to commit a crime, you have a right to detain me, ask me for my ID, which I will oblige you with, as I'm required by law. Short of that standard, you are illegally detaining me. I've asked to be free to go, and you are telling me until I give you some information, I'm not free to go. That is a violation of my rights, sir. Do you understand that?
He's willing to give us your ID. That's all I need.
You know what, guys? I would love to give it to you because I used to be one of them. But because I'm aware of my rights and because of my life experiences with law enforcement, I choose to exercise my rights. Not to be difficult, sir. You guys have much more better things. See, this is it, because people don't know their rights. And because LEOs, I don't know you three gentlemen personally. I quit a department because I ratted out the crook cops that worked with me. Okay?
What is frightening is that the only thing keeping these officers from escalating further was the camera recording them, and the fact that Mike was an ex-cop.
I'm sick of it. The corruption is everywhere. Every single cop in this nation is a liar. All right? I used to be one of them.
And you're calling 3 of us liars.
Yes, sir.
Just another example of officers twisting literally anything just to make someone look guilty.
If you're going to stand here and tell me you've never falsified, twisted a report just for your benefit, or provided false information, or saw one of your fellow brothers in blue violate someone's rights or do something wrong, by the mere fact of you withholding that information and not going to your supervisor makes you a liar.
I did not.
In your life, you've never ever lied. You've never ever lied in your entire life.
Well, that's something. Are you talking as a police officer or as a human being?
As a police officer, you've never lied in your life. Sir, you're allowed to lie in investigations. The Supreme Court has ruled you're allowed to lie. So your credibility just went out the window for me. I'm a certified interrogator, buddy. Don't sit here and play this game with me. You just lost your credibility. Now, any respectable person would say, of course I've lied. I've lied in the line of duty. I've lied in my personal life. I got more integrity in my finger, buddy, than you've got in your whole body.
Okay, sir.
Wow, that has got to be one of the most shocking conversations ever. One man calls all cops liars, and the officers silently nod in agreement. That is truly wild.
Back to my original question
Yes,
when
sir.
I first got here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you following somebody?
I don't answer your question, sir.
Okay.
Am I free to go?
Yes, you're free to go.
Thank you.
He put them in their place without hesitation. One of the most satisfying walks of shame I have ever seen. Now that was a wild ride, and these next cops, they just showed a whole new level of stupidity.
I don't like your attitude. You're coming here, you're supposed to be investigating. You should be asking me questions. Learn your job, dude. I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is.
On February 12, 2025, Auditor Jeff Gray stood outside Riviera Beach City Hall holding a sign supporting homeless veteran. Instead of respecting his rights, a security guard chose to interfere.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up. I can't hear well. Why that? Why's that? What's that? Yeah, solicitation's free speech. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because you cannot do it.
It's free speech.
You cannot do it.
It's free speech. This is City Hall property.
When it comes home, you let it go.
All right, you don't have to call the cops, man.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
I have a right to be here. This is free speech. You do have a choice. You can just leave me alone. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah, because then again, people are going to come through here and say,
You don't have
"All right,
to-
this guy is doing this." Then it's gonna be
You don't
my
have to
fault.
snitch, man.
Then it's going to be me.
You don't have to snitch.
The guard used threats right away, warning Jeff about calling the police even though he had no reason to escalate the situation. This shows how easily power can be abused.
I'm not snitching. You're not supposed to do it.
Yes, I am. I have every right to be here just as much as anybody else does.
Okay, so when the cops come,
I can explain it to them, okay?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I guess we got a complaint that you're asking customers for money, or you're bothering customers, or something?
I'm not bothering customers.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm just out here spreading the message. God bless homeless veterans.
They don't want your presence here right now because I guess some people are feeling uncomfortable with you coming up and they're making complaints to them, and that's why they called me. So, are you conducting any business here? Or?
Like I explained to them, I am conducting business. I'm engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion on traditional public forum, and I have just as much right to be here as anybody else.
Yeah, you do, but you have to be conducting business, and this is the city hall, so that's why. Just give me a second. I'm gonna wait for my partner to get here.
A police officer showed up a few moments later, but just like the security guard, she disregarded Jeff's rights instead of defending them.
Yeah, like I said, I'm engaged in free
I
speech.
understand that, and you're allowed to do your freedom of speech or whatnot, but obviously this is a timely hour where people are conducting business and they're not
Yes.
really comfortable with you coming
Normal business operating hours. Yeah.
Okay, so, but they're not comfortable with
What's the uncomfortable law?
Give me a second. Let me just wait
Okay.
till my partner gets here.
How you doing, sir?
You got ID?
Customers.
Why do I need to give you ID?
Double check something.
What?
He's recording. Just heads up. Just
What's
like we're
going on?
recording, he's recording too.
A yes or no question. Do you have ID?
Of course I have
Can
ID.
I have it, please?
No. I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum.
I didn't ask you anything else. I just asked you for your
Okay,
ID.
well, I'm just letting you know.
No. Thank you.
The officer clearly did not expect resistance, and when Jeff refused to comply, his unprofessionalism only worsened.
I mean, well, I'm just letting you know I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum. There's freedom of speech.
Thank you for sharing that.
What's your name?
It's Officer Brown,
What's your badge number?
4994.
Okay, what's your, are you body cam recording? What's your attitude, man?
I asked you a simple question. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Don't put your hands up to me like that.
I don't need a conversation.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to the hand then. I don't like your attitude, man. But I will put you on notice that if you guys remove me from this property, you will be held accountable. Jackass.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Jackass. I don't like your attitude.
I didn't hear you.
Jackass. I called you a jack. I don't like your attitude. You come in here, you're supposed to be investigating. You should be asking me questions.
I did ask you.
You asked me for my ID. What?
Yes, sir.
Is my ID going to tell you whether a crime is afoot? Is my ID, you want me? Hold on a second. It's in my pocket. I'll get my ID out for you.
When Jeff called out his bad attitude, the cop was taken aback. Instead of handling the situation calmly, he doubled down on his rude behavior.
I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is. Straight to ID. So just so you know, I'd like to stay and enjoy my freedom of speech rights. But if they do say that I'm trespass, you give me a trespass warning, I'll leave.
I think my partner asked for ID. You refused to give it.
Yeah, I'm not committing a crime.
Did you refuse to give the ID? That's what I asked.
Yeah, I'm refusing to give ID. I'm not committing a crime.
So in order for us to trespass you, we got to get your ID.
No, you don't. You just trespass me.
No, because in our way we give a CAD. So then if you come back, then you get arrested for
It's a
trespassing.
civil matter.
That's how you see it. Civil matter or not?
No, that's how the courts see it.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
That's how the law sees it.
Okay.
If you trespass me, I leave. I'm not giving you ID.
Despite their lack of knowledge of the law, these officers stubbornly defended their mistake, exposing their ignorance for all to see.
So am I good to go, man?
There's other things to do in the city right now.
Am I good to go? No answer. Just gonna walk away. Completely unprofessional. So they got the word to leave me alone, and they can't bring themselves to be big enough to say, yes, sir, you're good to go. There's better things to do in the city right now. You're damn right there's better things to be doing in the city right now than harassing a person who is engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum. There they go, tucking their tails and running.
Instead of admitting that Jeff was right, the police chose to walk away rather than acknowledge their mistake, a clear failure in their duty. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we saw outrageous moments where arrogant cops messed with the wrong person and then instantly regretted it. Abuse of power never ends well, and these officers learned that the hard way. If you agree with me, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, watch how these evil police officers were put in place by these citizens.
We've now been asked to be removed from the chambers. So
there's no reason to remove me from the chambers because I am not interfering with
clearly
you.
chosen to
I'm
violate
ready.
the rules of the
Excuse
forum.
me. Excuse me.